The 26th of October 2017, Lewis Hamilton is on the brink of beating Sebastian Vettel to a fourth world title as Formula One moves on to Mexico. But will he get over the line this weekend? Betting company Crown Casino overviews. F1 2017. The last three raucous, thrilling Formula One season is coming to an end. After 17 races, there are only 3 more to go until drivers cross the line for the final time in the heat of Abu Dhabi. For a large part of the season, Vettel was the man to beat, and the main contender for the title. But the last handful of races have been eventful, to say the least. He has lost his advantage over Hamilton, who is closing in on his 4th title. 2017, though, has shown that anything can happen. We take a closer look at the remaining races and the 2 rivals for the title. Hamilton the man to beat with 6 consecutive podium finishes. Vettel enjoyed a strong start to the season. Ferrari looked superior on the more technical circuits, with Mercedes driver Hamilton only managing to win 4 of the first 11 races. After Belgium, things started to change, and the advantage shifted from Ferrari to Mercedes. A collision with teammate Kimi Räikkönen and Red Bull's Max Verstappen led to Vettel retiring Singapore, before engine trouble in Japan gave Hamilton an even stronger lead. Current standings: 1. Lewis Hamilton 331 points. 2. Sebastian Vettel 265 points. 3. Valtteri Bottas 244 points. With only 3 races to go, Hamilton is well and truly in the hot seat. Only major errors or technical failures can keep him from a 4th title. With a revived Red Bull team, 2 strong Mercedes drivers and the Ferrari outsiders, there is still a lot to look forward to over the remaining races. Remaining races: October 29th Mexican Grand Prix, November 12th Brazilian Grand Prix, November 26th Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. In the last 6 races, Hamilton was beaten just once. Meanwhile, Verstappen proved in Malaysia that Red Bull is on the right track, having driven with a suboptimal engine and chassis package at the start of the season. In Mexico, if Hamilton finishes 5th or higher, he will secure the crown. And this could create opportunities for other front-running drivers such as Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo, Bottas and Räikkönen, who can afford to take more risks. Be sure not to miss the last 3 races. Check out the latest Formula One odds at Crown Casino. Latest news: 0518 Mika Häkkinen reflects on his victory at the 2001 United States Grand Prix, which proved to be his last in Formula One, as he F1 1932, F1 1930, F1 1929. McLaren drivers Fernando Alonso and Stoffel Vandoorne will both be hit with sizable grid penalties at this weekend's Mexican F1 1918. Formula One drivers have suggested that race officials need to provide better guidance with regards to track limits in the wake. F1 1853 Romain Grosjean takes you behind the scenes on his United States Grand Prix weekend in Austin, and reveals the secret to being a F1 1839. Sebastian Vettel says that he absolutely backs Maurizio Arrivabene to remain as Ferrari's team boss, describing him as a key. F1 1816 Pierre Gasly has described the outcome of his Super Formula season as weird after series officials were forced to cancel last. F1 1750 Max Verstappen has maintained his view that the penalty he received at the United States Grand Prix was not correct, though. F1 1639 Fernando Alonso will make his debut at the Daytona 24 Hours next year with United Autosports, the team co-owned and chaired by F1 1413 Toto Wolff has stressed that Mercedes is only halfway towards achieving its 2017 objectives, as the outfit strives to ensure F1 1236 as part of its commitment to road safety. Allianz is launching a new awareness campaign on the risks of unexpected events on the F1 1158. Lewis Hamilton stands on the brink of his 4th Formula One title and can wrap up the crown at this weekend's Mexican Grand Prix. F1 1003 The FIA has moved to avoid a repeat of last year's controversy at the Mexican Grand Prix by installing raised orange curbs. F1 1001 watches Yamaha's autonomous motorcycle riding robot, dubbed the MOTOBOT, takes on Motop star Valentino Rossi to demonstrate Motop 1000. Lewis Hamilton is on the brink of beating Sebastian Vettel to a 4th world title as Formula One moves on to Mexico. But will he? F1 0943 Chip Ganassi Racing will field Ed Jones alongside Scott Dixon in IndyCar next season, competing the outfit's driver. Indy 0932 Brendan Hartley will switch to using 28 as his permanent number in Formula One, with the New Zealander set to see out the season. F1 0854 Today, Thursday, marks the 20th anniversary of one of F1's most controversial finales, as Jacques Villeneuve beat Michael. F1 0542 Ferrari looks ahead to the Mexican Grand Prix by presenting the challenges posed by the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. F1 1645 Sean Geller's upcoming practice run at the Mexican Grand Prix will come at the expense of Pierre Gasly, Toro Rosso has confirmed. F1 1608 Force India test and reserve driver Alfonso Celis Jr. discusses his role with the team, ahead of his practice run at the Mexican F1 1402 catch-up with Ganassis Scott Dixon and Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports James Hinchcliffe as the pair carry out testing of Indy 1322. Lewis Hamilton believes that the unusual dynamic between himself and Valtteri Bottas has driven Mercedes forward in 2017, and F1 1230 Renault engine chief Remy Taffin has accepted that the manufacturer has suffered from too many reliability issues in 2017, as F1 1148 Formula One heads south across the border to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the Mexican Grand Prix. JeepUpdate.net previews. F1 1052 Force India's senior system engineer Charlie Blackwell explains the buttons and switches required on a Formula One steering wheel. F1 1028 Formula One sporting chief Russ Brawn has suggested that the sport needs to learn from Max Verstappen's penalty at the United F1 1018 Marcus Ericsson says it is now almost impossible for Sauber to fight with its Formula One rivals due to its use of a year-old F1 0949 Red Bull Motorsport consultant Helmut Marko has confirmed that Daniil Kvyat will not return to Toro Rosso, leaving the Russians. F1 0923 Renault has confirmed that it will exit Formula E at the end of the 201,718 season, with partner Nissan to take its place at the FAO 902. Reigning world champion Marc Marquez can clinch his fourth Moto title, and sixth world championship in all classes, at Motopo 839. Find out what happened when Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton took sprinting legend Usain Bolt for a spin at the Circuit of the Americas. F1 0803 Nissan has announced that it is to join the Formula E Championship in 201,819, in place of an existing outfit. Nissan will. FAO 520 Haas driver Kevin Magnussen previews this weekend's Mexican Grand Prix with a virtual lap at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. F1 1654 Force India test driver Alfonso Celis Jr. will make another outing behind the wheel of the squad's Formula One car at this F1 1625 McLaren Honda's Fernando Alonso says he is braced for a back-of-the-grid start at this weekend's Mexican Grand Prix. In the wake, F1 1608 Russian youngster Robert Schwartzman has joined Ferrari's Driver Academy, becoming the 8th member of the Marcus Young driver. F1 1602 Lewis Hamilton says the work he has undertaken both with Mercedes and on his own lifestyle is behind the form he has. F1 1424 JeepUpdate.net looks at the pre-race introductions at the United States Grand Prix, a first for F1, and argues that Liberty Media, F1